वेलकम अगेन फॉर दिस न्यू एपिसोड ऑफ विकास की बात डीवीसी के साथ। आज हमारे बीच एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर फिनांस मिस्टर जॉयदीप मुखर्जी सर है। सर, स्वागत है आपका सर इस एपिसोड में।
थैंक यू, धन्यवाद।
नेक्स्ट 5 to 6 years, DVC is planning to expand its generation capacity to about 2.5 times, somewhat around 15,000 to 16,000 megawatt of capacity we are going to achieve, and that will require huge sum of money. So how DVC is planning to arrange such huge amount of money to establish or to erect those plants, or you can say solar panels, ground mounted or as well as floating solar panels?
Yes, it's a very good question to begin with. Actually, DVC has a very ambitious plan ahead. Lot of projects are in the pipeline, be it thermal as well as solar and other renewables. So DVC has to plan ahead so far as financing of the projects are concerned. Funding of through loans is of course a challenge, but it is like achievable because DVC has improved its credit rating, and now the banks are willing to provide funds to DVC, banks and other financial institutions as well. They are ready to provide fund to DVC at very competitive rates. Means the rates that are provided to the so-called Navratna and other Maharatna companies, they are able, the rates are comparable. So that is a possibility so far as the raising of the loans are concerned for the funding of the projects. For the equity part, that's a really a big challenge for us, definitely, but it is achievable, provided, first of all, the projects that are planned, that are in the pipeline, that are implemented in time. There should not be any project overruns, which entails higher costs, disallowability of expenses, and deferment of cash flows. Because if the cash flows from the new projects comes in time, it pours in, then it will help us to fund the future equity for the newer projects. So cash flow generation in a timely manner, in a very staggered manner, will help DVC in funding equity part of the newer projects.
As you were saying that we are going to take loans from financial institutions.
Definitely, banks also for the part of CRC allows 70% of the project cost through loans, and we'll be getting the cost of financing of the loans through the tariff also, provided there is no cost or project cost overrun or delays in completion of the projects. Then we won't be getting the costs through tariff. CRC won't allow the cost, but till the time if the projects are commissioned within time, the IDC will be allowed by CRC, and that can be recovered through tariff.
Okay. Yes, I have heard that, like member technical sir has said that delay of 1 day of 800 megawatt unit will cost around 2.5 crores.
That's right.
So the whole thing means the whole area of concern will be the timely completion of all the projects. Yes, sir. Actually, DVC is serving India for the last 77 years, and as per the information by member financer, the last money infused by the governments like central government or the state governments was in around 68 to 69, and it was only about 214 crores. Why didn't it happen after that?
Yeah, because DVC basically was conceptualized as an organization for maybe for the purpose of taming the Damodar Valley, Damodar River, and for the flood control part, social part of the causes. But with the with the passage of time, DVC turned into a commercial organization with, of course, the flood control, the social aspects, all things keeping intact. DVC has also forayed into generation, thermal generation as well. So now I guess DVC has been considered as a commercial organization, and that's why they have to run on their own. Being a commercial organization, that cannot be funded by the governments. So basically, that is the reason, I guess, why there has been no further capital contribution from the government.
Or you can say Damodar Valley Corporation was self-sufficient to infuse the money to themselves only. Means they were
Yes,
able to
yes, yes.
run.
Yeah, because before, I guess, the ninth and 10th 5-year plans, DVC ran with a very small thermal capacity, and it was cash rich as well, because we didn't come into the regulated tariff regime. It was the old electricity. There was no electricity act prior to that regulating the tariff. So it was a cost plus tariff that was passed on to the consumers, and that's the reason why DVC always had the cash in hand with them. With the whatever DVC thermal capacity it used to sell the power to the consumers at their own determined tariff, okay, which is always cost plus. So that way DVC was surviving. After that, the new Electricity Act came into being. There were change in regulations. There was regulated tariff. Regulatory commissions played a big part in the revenue aspects of the organization. And then the challenge came for DVC to, really run efficiently, expand its capacity, get the tariffs, get the fixed costs from expansion of projects. Because if we had stuck onto the old thermal capacity, and all the plants being very old, we won't be getting the return on equity from the projects. So the revenue wouldn't have flowed in. So thanks to the capacity addition which came in the ninth and 10th 5-year plans, we at least could survive that period, because we got in more return on equity.
So for every in equal interval of time, like 6 to 7 years, we have to infuse lots of capital to our system to survive in this VUCA energy world, you can say. Okay, so sir, first of all, can you elaborate what is the overall functions of finance section in bringing such units in the either in the brownfield or in the greenfield projects?
Absolutely. Now, finance also, as DVC has very ambitious plan ahead, finance is also getting geared up, to face the challenges. There has been a lot of systemic changes in finance over the last 3 4 years, I would say. Major changes, like we have gone for more digital mode of activities, like regarding paperless payments to the vendors, for if to the employees also, for LT and others. We are going for TA bills, and also further now paper, paperless mode of payment. Means also we have the centralization of functions, finance functions, like all payments are being centralized now through being paid to treasury, headquarter treasury, for better fund management, and so that it is getting centralized more or less. Even for the finance department, the concurrence part, it is being centralized now. The idea of centralization of these functions, like treasury, the loans and bonds section, the finance concurrence section, pension section, is due to better optimum utilization of manpower. We cannot afford to have high man megawatt ratio. So, to optimize the manpower resources that we have, centralization of functions, which also reduces the delay and increases the efficiency, you know, that is being implemented in finance. Lot of other digital means, what should I say, systemic improvement has been implemented apart from centralization of functions, centralized payment I already said, even means paperless payments. Also in the pension section, which is a very sensitive section, efforts are always on finance to give better services to the pensioners, who are also a major stakeholder of the organization.
Means happy employees and happy
Happy
vendors.
pensioners, obviously, we always endeavor to provide best of our services to all the stakeholders, be it pensioners, because pensioners we have implemented the a modified way of system of payment. Okay, through the public sector banks itself, through a CPPC cell, where it is expected that we will be getting better service from the bankers, because we had agreements with the bankers since 2007, but all these services were not properly provided by the bankers, but they were taking away the charges. But now, thanks to the implementation of the CPPC, which is a cell within the bank, we have been able to get better services, and the pensioners will now in future get door to door services. As so far as digital life certificates are concerned, any pension payment issues are concerned, they'll be getting the best of services, because pensioners are spread all over India and even abroad. So we need DVC from headquarters, cannot provide 100% service to all and all pensioners located, means spread all over the country and abroad. So nearby branch of that particular bank will provide the best of services to the pensioner, thanks to this CPPC, which is nothing but a unit within that same bank.
Okay.
That
Means
is,
and how you are contributing for the upcoming projects? Means you are only limited to arranging the funds only, or ahead of that your section is
yeah, it's
doing something?
actually there are a lot of options which are available before DVC. Of course, we have to act within the ambit of the DVC Act. We cannot go beyond that. But still, if we look for like funding, uh, rather we can, if we look for funding of the new projects through alternative sources of funds. Okay, like what you want to say, like you see the BCCL being a part of CIL is coming with an IPO now. So DVC can think about an IPO so far as transmission sector is concerned. Okay, by formation of a SPV or whatever format,
What is SPV, sir?
special purpose vehicle. Okay, so that will help in raising of money from the market, because DVC's ratings are going up, and if we have the guarantee from the central government, then we can go for further issuance of bonds also. Previously, we also had issued bonds of 7,000 crores. Already, we have paid the first tranche of the bond, 1320 crores, this year itself, and the balance has to be paid within 2028. So for that also, we have provided funds. We have made some sinking fund investments for the payment of the bonds. Okay, so that we can manage, but for future projects also, we can think about going for bonds issue as well, because of our better credit rating. That will give confidence to the investors, as well as the central government guarantee if we get, that will further.
अभी काफ़ी बात हो रहा है क्रेडिट के ऊपर में कि डीवीसी का क्रेडिट इम्प्रूव हो गया है, क्रेडिट रेटिंग ऊपर जा रहा है। ये क्रेडिट रेटिंग डीवीसी को देता कौन है?
Actually, there are 2, 3 credit rating agencies that we rely upon. India Ratings have given us this improved this credit rating of DVC last year from A for the long term loans, from A minus. Now we have come to A plus. For the bonds, we have a AAA rating because it is like backed by the government guarantee. Okay. I think monetization of some assets means, especially I look at maybe monetization for the water resources. We can utilize our water resources in a better manner, because now water supply is restricted to municipal as well as some part of the industrial
Some industries are also
industries
getting
are
water.
also there. Some agriculture is also there. We can explore the possibility if the act it's within the ambit of the act, or if we get the permission from the concerned governments, then we can explore the utilization of the water resources in a better manner, in a more commercial manner.
And like NTPC has just started a company like NTPC Green Energy. So, in that way also, Damodar Valley Corporation
Definitely,
can think
definitely.
DVC Green and
DVC Green, we
they
can
can
yes,
we can means
that could be 100% subsidiary of the main DVC. Yes, that is another option, and from where we can, you know, classify the activities are core activities, non-core activities, as well as the financing, the funding part also.
and Damodar Valley Corporation is also engaged in creating some green environment like plantation we are doing since 1948. So we can use the concept of carbon credit and the
Absolutely.
trading of
We have
carbon
been
also.
very much into this now. The ESG is the buzzword now in the corporate world. So DVC has already been doing a lot of ESG since its inception. Okay, but it has not been measured. It has not been like means it has not come out as a scorecard.
मैंने हम
Okay,
लोग काम करते थे ढिंढोरा नहीं
ढिंडोरा नहीं
पीटते
पीटते थे, तो
अब
वही
ढिंढोरा
दिक्कत।
पीटने का टाइम आ
अभी
गया है
ढिंडोरा पीटने का, और वी हैव टू डू दैट। लाइक ESG compliance is a must, and ESG score DVC का अच्छा आने ही वाला है, क्योंकि we are already into lot of environmental, lot of social activities. Governance part is also DVC, because DVC has been a 78 years old organization. Had there been no poor governance, it wouldn't have survived for so long a period. गवर्नेंस तो डीवीसी का है जरूर।
हाँ समूचे
इसको
वर्ल्ड में आप देखेंगे तो
बिल्कुल
बहुत कम कंपनियां होती
बहुत
है या
कम है।
कम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऐसे होते
बिल्कुल
हैं जितना लंबा ड्यूरेशन तक
ड्यूरेशन
सिर्फ सरवाइव नहीं कर रहा है ग्रोथ भी दिखा रहा है
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। systems and processes are there, only we have to update that, okay, with the changing time, changing world. The world is so like close now, so हम लोग को digitized होना है। हम लोग को we are embracing ERP now. We are much of work has been done. फिनांस में भी जो फिको मॉडल है ERP का, उसमें काफ़ी काम हुआ है। हम लोग एसेट मैंने फिक्स्ड एसेट्स को क्लासिफिकेशन किए हैं। हम लोग जो लेजर है वो ERP मीन्स का को ध्यान में रखते हुए लेजर क्लासिफिकेशन का काम हुआ है। हम लोग का कॉस्ट सेंटर सेग्रीगेशन का काम हुआ है। ये सब पार्ट ऑफ ERP है। तो ऑलरेडी वी आर लाइक on the track, for implementation, timely implementation of ERP.
Sir, we are also engaged in production of coal. We have coal mines like Tubed mines. And last year we achieved the target of 4 million metric ton. And in this financial year we have a target of 6 million metric ton. वहाँ से जो कोयला प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है वी आर यूजिंग दैट कोल तो उसका कॉस्ट क्या इफेक्ट करता है हमारे पावर प्लांट्स पे
बिल्कुल। एक्चुअली क्या होता है ना कि वी शुड ऑलवेज लुक फॉर अल्टरनेट सोर्स ऑफ सप्लाई ऑफ फॉर आवर मेन कॉस्ट, दैट इज द फ्यूल कॉस्ट। Coal cost it plays that, because as we all know it accounts for 70% of our total expenditure, 55% of the revenue. So उसके ऊपर हम लोग का ज़्यादा ध्यान होना चाहिए। Fuel security is very important for the future plants as well. The fuel security के लिए हम लोग का CIL के अलावा भी हम लोग को alternate source of supply हमको देखना पड़ेगा। We could go for procurement of coal from open market, but most important thing is that if we can get captive coal mines like we already have in Tubed. Tubed is now in operation. So if we get similar coal mines which are strategically located, okay, we should explore those things, those mines. So we have to be like we should not over depend on any other external agencies. We should have security in place for getting the right amount of coal at the right point of time. There's no point of overstocking of coal, because that entails also working capital, which also takes a toll on the, it increases the costs, of course, the interest part costs. So we should strive for getting right quantity of coal, right quality of coal at the right time. So for that, I think more captive coal mines we can explore, and that is also a very good opportunity for us to,
उसका रेट
really.
कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं? मान लिया जाए किसी प्लांट के लिए हम मतलब कोल इंडिया से ले रहे हैं, एससीसीएल से ले रहे हैं, तो मुझे मालूम है कि मेरे को इतने पैसे देने हैं फॉर 1 मेट्रिक टन। बट जब मेरा अपना माइंस है, कैप्टिव माइंस है, हाउ डू वी डिफाइन द रेट ऑफ दैट कोल?
या बिकॉज दैट एक्चुअली नॉर्मली जैसे टूबेड में हुआ था, नॉर्मली जो बाकी सब कंपनीज में ही होता है जी, कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी के हिसाब से वी आउटसोर्स दैट वर्क टू द एमडीओ, माइन डेवलपर, ओके, and we come to an agreement with the MDO based on the project cost that has to be borne by MDO, and the part mainly basically for two-way we had for the land cost part, it was borne by DVC. So for the MDO cost, means based on competitive bidding, they quote a cost which DVC has to pay for getting the coal from
Means
them.
indirectly you can say that we are purchasing coal from MDO.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
plus the transportation cost, bringing the coal cost till the mills.
फिनांस सेक्शन से अगर कोई भी सवाल है आपको तो ज़रूर कमेंट सेक्शन में लिखिएगा। अगली बार जब हम लोग सर के साथ बैठेंगे तो उन सारे सवाल इनसे फिर से पूछे जाएंगे। और सर आपने समय निकाला इस एपिसोड के लिए, सो सारे कॉरपोरेट कम्युनिकेशन की टीम की ओर से सर धन्यवाद सर हम लोगों की तरफ से।
मेरे तरफ से भी सबको, ऑल डिविजन्स सबको धन्यवाद, और स्पेशली आपका जो पब्लिक रिलेशन डिपार्टमेंट एंड यू इन पर्टिकुलर, thank you so much for giving me a platform, for sharing my thoughts and experience with everybody. Thank you so much.